Let's take a look at the various departments found in a typical leasing company. The functional organisation chart is similar between most lessors. Firstly, let's look at the department that originates transactions, the marketing department, also known as business development. Some lessors still maintain a team of salespeople on the road that go to visit customers at their premises. But these days, increasingly, lessors are organising their marketing function in-house, using teams of in-house transaction managers that deal with the flow of incoming transactions from banks, from brokers, and from vendor programs. A number of advanced skills are required to manage account relationships, to assess prospective transactions, and to produce meaningful lease proposals, and this department is very important to the lessor. The equivalent function at captive leasing companies, those companies that belong to manufacturers, are the sales support team, whose job it is to remind manufacturers' salesmen of the value of sales finance and to produce lease proposals for prospective customers. 99.9% of all lease proposals are made subject to credit approval, rate, and contract. What does that mean? Credit approval refers to the lessor having to check the lessee's financial condition to see whether it meets with its own internal criteria before it can make a full commitment. This task is carried out by the credit underwriting team, whose job it is to analyse the lessee's financial statements and perform the various credit checks. This is an extremely important function because should the lessee default, not only does the lessor lose money, but it wastes a lot of management time trying to clear up the mess. Credit underwriting also has to make sure that the leasing company has not caused an overexposure on any single area of risk. The rate is set by the lessor's treasury function. Their job is to organise the money to buy the asset that the lessee wants at a rate that's low enough for the lessor to be able to charge its profit margin and get its profit from the deal. Now, because of changing money markets, it's impossible to get a firm rate other than on the day that the lease itself is actually concluded. Credit underwriting and rate can be automated in certain circumstances. Where you have the situation where there's a high daily volume of relatively low value transactions, it's quite possible in the interest of efficiency to do the credit checking by electronic means with link-ups to credit agencies such as Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax or Experian. These credit links can check the lessee's credit rating in seconds and still observe the lessor's own internal criteria. If this is combined with preset rentals and automatic documentation production via electronic means, you literally can get the lessee signing up a lease in minutes. Now obviously you wouldn't enter a jumbo jet deal on this basis, but these days in the small ticket market for transactions between £5,000 and £50,000, automated transactions are the norm. Now, we've covered marketing, credit underwriting, and treasury. So what other departments are there left? Well, there is the accounting team, whose job it is to raise the invoices, pay the bills and salaries, deal with taxation, and produce financial statements for management, for shareholders, and for statutory bodies. The IT department, which deals with software, telecoms, and computers. And the unsung heroes of any leasing company, the administration teams, whose job it is to make sure that all the paperwork is where it should be. In a business that's based on paper, this is very important. There are other specialist departments at some lessors. For example, people who know the price of leased equipment at the various points in the equipment's life. There's also legal advice to be got. Usually legal advice is outsourced to legal firms, but some lessors employ in-house legal staff if the workload warrants it. You most probably work in one of the departments that we've just been describing, and although leasing may seem unique, you can see that the disciplines in a leasing company are similar to many other service companies.